Yeah.
Here?
Not done yet.
Laws.
So, Snowball is the weekend of the 14th and the 15th?
13th, 14th.
13th, 14th, and 15th.
Yeah, it's Friday the 13th, lucky Friday the 13th.
So you're left in charge of this, huh?
Yeah, I'm the director along with Mrs. Smollenberger and Mrs. Hirschberger. Yeah, we all three kind of pitch in and do.
How is Snowball different this year from years in the past?
Well, for one, I think probably the main difference this year would probably be the fact that we've got a lot fewer people.
Really?
I think as of right now, today, we got about 121 who are coming.
What was the usual number?
Last year, we had as many as 300.
Wow.
And that was a large, and we had decided this year that we were going to limit it. You know, we still might get some more coming in from other schools. We've sent out applications and things to other schools in case we might get some from our other schools, Woodruff, East Peoria, some of the other schools.
Is Notre Dame in that?
Notre Dame. Some of the schools that we've worked with before in the Snowball program.
What was the basis of the theme "Lean on Me"?
Huh. Well, we all got together. We developed a teen staff this year. We've got 26 teen staff. We've had teen staff before. Mr. Plessner did a training workshop in leadership skills and things like that. And from those people, we developed our teen staff. And what we've tried to do this year, along with the fact that the numbers are down a little bit, cut back a little bit in that area, we've also have tried to give the teen staff more responsibility.
Yeah.
And so the teen staff this year was, we kind of got together in a room and decided to throw out the idea of a topic for this year, something that we would, and they all submitted different ideas, and we got together with the ideas in the executive board, and there are six students on the executive board, 2 from each class except for the freshman class, which is not represented. And not that we don't like the freshman class, it's just that
It's their first year.
it's their first year, and they haven't been to a Snowball. So, and we just kind of took a vote on it, and that was the one that we decided we were going to do.
Okay, for our viewing, I'm sure everybody in the audience here knows what Snowball is. But for our people in the viewing audience at home, could you explain Snowball? What is really Snowball all about?
I tell you, we just had a meeting this last weekend because I'm also working as the I'm going to be the staff consultant for session 4 over at the Illinois Teen Institute, which is the parent of Snowball. ITI is getting into its 20th year, and the 20th year will be next summer. This is their 19th. Snowball is in its 15th year. As a matter of fact, this summer will be Snowball's 15th anniversary. Wow. And been around for 15 years, and it's come to a lot of different places. It's gone to Indiana, Wisconsin, Ohio. We've got different chapters all over the Midwest, as a matter of fact. And it branched out of the ITI. The Illinois Teen Institute was originally in Monticello, Illinois. It was set in the woods someplace, and it was a week long. Well, actually, it wasn't initially a week long. They extended it, and it's gotten longer. But it was just a retreat for kids, and initially it was mostly drug and alcohol related. But now it's more. We've kind of shifted our focus, and we're more self-esteem, goal-oriented. Trying to get kids steered in the right direction, aiming more at prevention than intervention. We don't want to intervene, and as a matter of fact, one of the stipulations for going to a Snowball is that you are not currently using or abusing alcohol or drugs.
Right.
And so we are geared more towards preventing people from using drugs and getting into a lifestyle that we consider might be risky, and that could be anything from eating disorders. It could be stress management, a lot of different things. And so that's what we're focusing on now. And we're getting kind of away from the drug and alcohol. Although this weekend, the People's Theater, we just got back from ICC, the Teens Unlimited Conference. People's Theater performed over there, and they have some drug and alcohol issues that they do. I think it'll be a really neat show.
The first time I ever heard about Snowball, well, I guess I was probably in 8th grade, and a bunch of the high schoolers came to the grade school and did like a couple skits, I think. I think it's the first time I heard of Snowball.
Yeah.
Do they still go around to the grade schools?
We do a snowflake too. I don't know if we're going to be doing one this year or not. We have tended to, since we do have some new people, we've tended to kind of cut back. We only had one snowball this year too, and that might go back to 2. We haven't decided, but being that we were coming in new and feeling our way through some new changes and stuff like that. But you might have probably had some kids going as a snowflake type of thing.
Yeah.
And we did have something earlier this year too. We had a teen day, which was fairly successful. I think the kids who went really enjoyed it. And we may gear more smaller things rather than the full-fledged weekends, because it's very time-consuming. And those people who are going, you need to appreciate the fact, yes, how much work the executive board, the adults, and the teen staff, and everyone has put into it's just incredible amount of hours. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's organizing. It's just a lot of work, and so I'm beginning to realize that now as one of the co-directors.
So this weekend's going to come off as a pretty good success.
Oh, it's all set up and it's ready to go. We got all of our speakers and we got some great teen staff. We got some great adult people and participants coming in. We're really looking forward to it.
Good, good. A little off the subject of... Yes.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay.
No Bran?
All right, a little off the subject of snowball. Anyway, I understand you're also in charge of boys tennis.
Yeah. Mr. Witt knows about that. He was doing that for many years, and I've been the assistant the last couple of years, and this year Mr. O'Neill decided to go into track, and so I'm taking over the position of head tennis coach. And Mrs. Lindstrom, who is a local instructor, has come in for the fresh soft coach, and we're really excited about having her come in, because it's be not so. Yes. And we just started our season last week, and obviously we're not practicing today because it's too cold, and the West Gym's being used. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
What's the team outlook for this year? I mean, we got a lot of returning all-conference players.
We have a few. It's gonna be real interesting because the fact that I think a lot of the other schools in the area too have lost a lot of their big players.
Really?
Morton and East Peoria have lost some of their big players. And so we're not really sure. It's going to be a real interesting year. We're right now in the process of seeding the people, the varsities, and it's real hard to say right now because of the fact that I think we've kind of balanced out with losing people and gaining people. So.
Who are the returning letter winners from last year?
Oh, that's a good question. Brian McFarland. I'm trying to think of who the seniors are. Pat Butterly.
Was Andrew Hughes?
Andrew Hughes.
Andrew Hughes,
Scott
our own Andrew Hughes.
Yeah.
Our own Andrew Hughes.
Andy Ryapel.
Our own Andrew Hughes.
This man has no brand. Oh shoot, I don't. I'm trying to think who else we got out there. Brody Hillman and Brian Mesker are also looking to. I'm sure they'll be.
So it looks like we got a pretty good team.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it to see how it goes and see what the other squads have.
Are there any? Are there any recent changes in the rules regarding state qualifying?
For tennis?
Right.
Not that I am aware of.
Not that I'm aware. I'm stuck with this question, and yes, Mr. Witt.
I don't think there. I mean, the letter,
Mr. Witt, I think we need to have a talk after the show.
The manual is pretty much the same. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything as far as
okay.
qualifying for state.
As most of the people in our audience don't know, what do you teach at Washington?
This year I'm teaching the junior honors English and junior. I have one class of junior academic English. And I have 2 honors speech classes. And I also have the speech team. That I do this.
How long have you been doing speech and been involved in speech team here?
I didn't really do much the first year I was here. The second year I kind of helped in an unofficial capacity. I just kind of would have people come into my room and I would help them with pieces or help people select pieces for speech team. And then last year was my official start as the assistant director or the assistant coach for the speech team, and then this year I'm the only coach for the speech team this year.
Because Mrs. Ford, was it last year or last year?
Yeah, she was the head coach last year, and we didn't really we just kind of cut back on the tournaments a little bit. We're not doing as many tournaments.
Okay, these next questions are Mr. Witt's. They are not mine. He wants to know if you're married or single.
Family girl.
Clean it up. I am married. As a matter of fact, I have my 10-year anniversary coming up this May.
2 daughters.
Hi, Sally. She doesn't get this. We live in Bloomington, so that's.
His daughters
my
are
2
Ariel
daughters.
and Aqua. Ariel and Aqua.
Ariel and Aqua, yeah. Ariel and Brianna.
Okay, our last question. It's a big one. I understand that every year, basically, you take a group of students to Europe.
Not every year.
Well,
Yes. Last Christmas, I took a group of students to London for 9 days, and it went over really well. I was very pleased with how everything. They do a real excellent job. And we were there for 9 days. We saw a number of different shows. Barb Tarkowski was there. I'm trying to think of who. Sarah. Pardon me? Shelley Fleming was there. I had 6 people who went with me. This year, in August 6th is when we're leaving. We're going 2 weeks this time.
wow.
And we're going to spend 6 days in London and 6 days in Paris. We've got 6 people officially signed up right now, and 3 more that are looking to get the money together. If anybody's interested in going, there's still some spaces left too that I can get as probably many as 10. It's $14.95. It's for 2 weeks.
$14.95.
It's amazing. It's a great deal. And then it's like $75 for the membership fee, but that covers the transportation. That covers I think breakfast and dinner, the airfare, motel. And I think we see a show or 2 and some tours. So it's really a very good deal. You know, I think it is.
Yeah.
The kids seem to like it last year. So.
Well, Mr. Krostal, obviously one of our busiest faculty members here. We thank you very much for taking time out of your busy
Did you ask
schedule.
me what he had for lunch?
Oh, I need
Lunch?
to ask one important question.
Oh, it was horrible.
What?
Oh, because it was over at ICC. We got the sandwich. It was about the size of that table, and I didn't even eat half of it. And it was supposed to be like a gondola sub type thing. It was terrible.
So, all right, what do you generally think of the chicken fried steak?
Now, this personal opinion. I like the chicken fried steak, and I won't go out of my way to eat it, but I do like it if I don't have anything like to eat in my. Chicken fried steak's okay.
Well, we thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Come on.
Thanks for having me out.
He's shaking my hand. Someone is shaking my hand. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Next, we have
Yes.
Dave bouncing on the couch. Poets Corner with Carrie Fruce, kind of.
Today we're going to do something different on Poets Corner. I'm going to read a speech that I did this year during speech season in honor of Mr. Krostal. And what I want you to do is I really want you to think about this piece because there is a lot of meaning to it. It's about Vietnam. And what I don't think a lot of you realize is that most of you guys here in the audience are almost old enough to have fought in Vietnam had you lived back then. 24 July 1969. Dear family, things go fairly well here. Monsoon is very heavy right now. I haven't seen the sun for a couple of weeks. But this makes the sky that much prettier at night when flares go off. At times they look like falling stars, and then other times they seem to shine like crosses. Every day we see more and more why we are here. When a whole village comes in after being bombed and terrorized by Charlie. These are helpless people, dying every single day. I guess the worst of it is the children. Little baby sons being brutally maimed and killed. And they never hurt anyone. Papa's son comes in with his 3 babies. 1 dead, 2 covered with frag wounds. You try and tell him that the boy is dead. Feeny. But he keeps talking to it as if that will make it come alive again. It's that's enough to break your heart. You have to grin sometimes, though, at the primitiveness of these people. They're such characters. One comes into the hospital and the entire family camps out on the ramp or out in the OR room to be with the patient. No, nobody can tell me that we don't belong here. Love, Linda. December 1969. Hi all. I don't know where to start except to say I'm tired. It seems that's all I'm ever saying anymore. Thank you both for your tapes and all the little goodies in the Christmas packages. Christmas came and went, marked only by tragedy. I've been working nights for a couple of weeks and have been spending a great deal of time in post-op. They've been unbelievably busy. I got wrapped up in several patients, one of whom I scrubbed on when we repaired an artery in his leg. I came in for duty Christmas Eve and received an OR slip. Above knee amputation. He had developed gangrene. The sad thing was that the artery was pumping away beautifully. Merry Christmas, kid. We have to cut your leg off to save your life. We also had 3 other GIs die that day. Kids, every single one of them. The war disgusts me now. I'm beginning to feel like it's all a mistake. Well, Christmas morning, I got off duty and opened up all my packages alone. I missed you all so much, I cried myself to sleep. I seem to be crying all the time lately. I don't think I can describe to you in words how much I hate this place. This is now the 7th month of death, destruction, and misery that I've seen. I'm tired of going to sleep listening to outgoing and incoming rockets. I'm sick of facing every single day a new bunch of children being ripped to pieces. They're just kids. 18, 19 years old. Whole lives ahead of them. Cut off. I'm sick to death of it. All I know is I have to get out of here. Peace. Linda. Linda von Devanter is now a freelance writer, part-time teacher, and counselor living outside Washington, D.C. Dear Bill, today is February 13th, 1984. I came to this black wall again to see and touch your name. And as I do, I wonder if anyone stops to realize that next to your name, on this black wall, is your mother's heart. A heart broken 15 years ago today, when you lost your life in Vietnam. And as I look at your name, William R. Stocks, I think of how many, many times I used to wonder how scared and homesick you must have been in that strange country called Vietnam, and if and how it might have changed you. For you were the most happy-go-lucky kid in the world, hardly ever sad or happy. Even I was very mad at you. But on this past New Year's Day, I had my answer. I talked by phone to a friend of yours from Michigan. Jim told me how you died. For he was there and he saw the helicopter crash. He told me how after a while over there, instead of a yellow streak, the men got a mean streak down their back. Every day the streak got bigger and the men got meaner. everyone but you, Bill. He said how you stayed the same happy-go-lucky guy that you were when you first arrived in Vietnam. How your warmth and friendliness drew the guys to you. How your lieutenant gave you the nickname Spanky. And pretty soon, all of your group became known as Spanky's Gang. How when you died, it made it that much harder on them, because you were their moral support. And he said how you, of all people, should never have been the one to die. Oh God, how it hurts to write this. But I must face it and then put it to rest. I know that after Jim talked to me, he must have relived it all over again. Before I hung up the phone, I told Jim I loved him. Loved him for just being your close friend. Loved him for sharing the last days of your life with you, and for being there with you when you died. They tell me the letters I write to you and leave here at this memorial are waking others up to the fact that there is still much pain left, even after all these years from the Vietnam War. But this I know. I would rather to have had you for 21 years, and all the pain that goes with losing you, than to never have had you at all. Mom.
Thank you very much, Gary. That was very good. Next.
Let's do this. You and me talk.
Okay.
Let's talk.
What do we want to talk about, Dave?
Let's talk about fine arts. We don't have a formal fine arts report, but we know the fine arts like the back.
I
of
do
our
know
hand.
that there will be a fine arts report next week about the Show Choir Classic, which is one weekend from this coming weekend, which is the 21st. 21st.
21st.
It's a Saturday.
All day.
We expect you all in the viewing audience to come.
There's gonna be like 8 or 10 or
There's gonna be
27.
27,000 people there. I mean,
Yeah.
easily.
Lot of show cars and a lot of fun.
Okay.
Real cheap.
Next, we will have What's In and Out with Matt Manos.
Let's give it up for Matt.
And dudettes. What's happening, shaking, and all around cool this week? In the speech team, out the Democrats. In politicians telling lies, out politicians telling the truth. In Paul Simon as the sexiest man in America, out Sean Connery as the sexiest man in America. It's the bow ties, definitely the bow ties. In Snowball, out Democratic Convention. In My Wheelchair, out all monster trucks. In Michelangelo the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, out Michelangelo the Computer Virus. In Writing an Encyclopedia, out writing a term paper. What's the difference? In Student School Strike, out the cat strike. In Lent, out all diets. In Will Jackson, out his hip. In Hans and Franz, out American Gladiators, Nitro, and Diamond. In me and out you. Later, you cool dudes and dudettes.
Thank you very much. Next, I don't really understand this segment, but I'm sure Josh will have fun explaining it. This is Story Time with Josh. Welcome back to the show. Now, Josh, I'm very interested. What is this little segment about here?
Well, it's usually about a variety of things, but this week, well, you know, last week I did my first episode, and it caused a little bit of confusion maybe by a lot of people.
Fusion.
Well, yeah. And I had gotten a lot of letters from people who had seen the show and not understood parts, and they sent me asking me about these questions. So, you know, before I actually begin today, I thought I'd, take some time out and answer these questions, which people have written me expecting me to rework my entire weekend and devote long, arduous hours of back-breaking paperwork to answer their questions. But actually, I just thought I'd do it because I'm a nice guy. My first letter was from Stephen Gates of Pontotoc, Mississippi. I got
Yeah, what kind of name is Pontotoc? Come on.
I don't. He lives there. But so Stephen, for your answer, just because I forgot the playwright's name does not mean I have my underwear on backwards or anything. And a lot of other things on my mind, and you know, just I don't care what your Uncle Frank from Scranton says, but I do watch PBS and I saw most of the Civil War miniseries. I only missed the part about the Hessians because my mother was having a gallstone operation and needed somebody to hold her IV bag because her aorta ruptured. Okay. So don't worry about that, okay? I mean, once in a while things do slip, like my story here. The second letter I got reads, Dear Josh, last week's segment caused a bit of confusion for me. In the second paragraph, lines 6 through 9, you told us about several people and the roles they played in the musical. I believe you made an error and mixed your names around. Please check your mistake. Sincerely, David Curry, Littleton, Colorado. I think the mistake was mine, and I think the paragraph he was talking about was read, main characters are played by people other than Dan Dorn and myself. They are King Arthur, Queen Guinevere, Lancelot, King Pellinor, and the guy who holds the bucket. Yeah, the mistake was mine, and the corrected paragraph should read, Sonny doesn't know why Winnie and Jerry were together last weekend. They weren't a couple before, to her knowledge, and she can't explain how somebody she calls one of the most gentle, loving people could gun a man down. I'm sorry for the mistake. You know, once in a while they do slip out. I write these things up the night before, so. I'd also like to thank Merle Kilgore of Hamilton, Idaho, for writing in. Merle, when I say curtain calls and rotten fruit, I'm not talking about stuffing linens and fruit into various bodily orifices while skipping in place and singing Sweet Chariot. Lastly, I did get a lot of letters asking about the master thespian Jason Cook, wanting to know what else he's been starred in, because mainly he hasn't seen a whole lot. He's not real known, but he has starred in just recently in the PBS world premiere movie Darkness Falls over Vanilla City, and he has just finished working on a new movie called Return to Planet Xanar. I believe that will be premiering next March 1st. I think that's next Thursday.
Next Thursday?
Yeah, I think so. It's on
what
TBS.
Channel?
TBS. If you get cable, I don't
TBS has all the movies. All right.
Yeah, I think it's up
but
all
we
night
know
or
that
something.
public access too. Channel 22 is just rocking.
Yeah. Last week, you know, yesterday was Super Tuesday for some people. So I'd like to give my support right now to Bill Clinton, the Democrat presidential nominee. Now, I know I can't vote or anything, but still, he's my favorite because anybody who can wail on the sax as well as he can, and I've heard him play. He also has My Little Buttercup by memory, which he played for his wife during a campaign stop. Because I can think of nothing more aesthetically pleasing to me than to hear the beautiful rich tone of a mellow saxophone echoing off those $500 toilet seats for the next 4 years.
Thank you. That's Josh Cox.
Rich.
Dave. I think Dave has a disease.
I am a disease.
Anyway, since there was no audience poll posted on the board, no known audience poll to our knowledge, anyway, Dave and I are going to ask an applause audience poll. I mean, I want you to, there's going to be 2 questions. You applause to the one you like the best. How many people in the audience like chicken fried steak? Yay.
4. Okay. How many people in the audience don't?
How many people in the audience do like, or yeah, don't. How many people in the audience don't like chicken fried steak?
432.
I see 400. No, 435.
Oh, okay. I didn't see those 3. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Hey, Allison. How many people in the audience like John Cox?
How many people in the audience like
Josh Cox.
Now I only heard 2 people yelling, so I think that was pretty even answer. How many people in the audience like Mr. Witt?
How many people sitting behind desk are trying to get brownie points with Mr. Witt?
Why would I want brownie points with Mr. Witt? How many
Because this is
people
getting
like
old.
Jim G's sheepdog Willie? One person, thank you. Jim, you don't count.
Jim.
Okay, that's
I
our
noticed
show.
the person that was clapping was Willie Sheepdog.
Next, all right. There's nothing next. That's the end of the show. Go home. Go to bed. I know you all look tired. You all look tired. All right.
Get out.
Just go to bed. That's it for the show this
Go
week.
away. Turn it off.